Ooh, test 1 2, test 1 2. There we go. Mic is unmuted. Yeah, so like some things I was saying, I don't think our knight wants the c6 square because black has a solid control over these pawns, or these three jumping squares. E6, I think our bishop's gonna go on b7 maybe. So like knight here, castle, rook comes to the d file, other rook comes to the c file, and we're cooking with gas. Pretty basic setup. Like I said, we're playing against these two pawns here by white. And we have pretty solid 4 and 2. Just making sure everything stays nice and cozy. Nothing unexpected. In this position, the most played move is bishop here. I think the second most played move is knight to f3. I think I briefly looked at knight to f3 yesterday. I mean, from when bishop comes here, you just play b5, bishop drops back, and we're going to win the pawn. We're going to win the pawn back one way or another. White does not have enough defenders in this position. So that was, yeah, the course I have goes over this line. Like I said, this knight f3, I'm not 100% sure if we're supposed to play bishop out. I know we get the pawn back either way. e4. Interesting. If he goes here, then, I mean, we have some ideas of putting more pressure, so let's just continue with our development while white holds off from castling. I don't see any reason not to continue development. And let us castle. Alright, we're both castled. I have a couple more pieces to develop. White's got a few more pieces and a d pawn to kind of figure out. Interesting move might be like queen to c6. White's light square bishop is pretty loose right now, especially if we see any sort of like pawn push here. Could maybe build some pressure up on the c file. Okay, that's exactly what he does. What happens? I mean, is it just queen up? Yeah, so this is why originally I didn't want to play. But now, maybe we want to angle our knight into a5. Here, here. Huh. I guess this is also not a terrible move. We can get our rook here and we still have options. Take away a development square from putting some pressure here. So, I mean, expecting white to play some sort of queen move. Early morning to all the Americans out there. To the Europeans, good afternoon. Good afternoon. Yeah, I feel like this C pawn is going to be pretty weak by white, especially once these pieces get developed. I mean, we're going to be able to double up. Nice thing about this move as well, it defends b7 in case, I don't know, for whatever reason white wants to go this way with the queen. We're slightly down on development, I think. Another idea is just to get the knight, like I said, over to f6. Probably my next move, bishop knight to d7. Help with some defense of the h pawn. Okay, he does go for that. Well now, like, we have this covered twice, so I'm not worried about any sort of sacrifices. Now I kind of want to play knight here, knight there, and win the light squared bishop. And he can't even push. Yeah, how's he defending me coming into there? Here. Just try to win the bishop pair, and then maybe like bishop here, push b5. Get a really strong bishop. Yeah, I don't know how he stops this knight from coming into a5. So we kind of waited to see what our opponent's idea was. I think just like queen d4 could have been fine as well. And then he could have maybe like rerouted the bishop. I didn't see any clear attack from me to against like queen, I should say, queen d3. And I think I kept his queen on the correct side of the board. Like, I only have a couple pieces on my king side, and the more he brings his pieces to the queen side, I think the happier we are going to be. Like I said, this bishop, I feel, doesn't mind d7 to support a b5 push. And we can kind of hold off with our rook for a minute here. So ideas, like I said, knight a5. I don't even know. I mean, knight a5 just wins a straight up piece. So, like, yeah, I mean, knight a5 is a pretty strong idea. Yeah, I just feel like this queen wanted to be on this side of the board. Like I said, I think if he stayed like queen d3, I think it would have gone knight over to f6. I mean, let's see if he notices the threat that's incoming here. Our queen here is doing a nice job of discouraging. Maybe he thinks like the pressure's on c3. I'm not sure where this dark squared bishop wants to go. b2 maybe if this opens up. e3, he could just try to trade the bishop. Probably just take. He has no other pieces to help him with the attack. So I think we're off to a decent start here. I would say even, maybe slight advantage for us, but probably a pretty even starting position out of the gate. So that's all Black's trying to do, equalize. Especially against strong opponents and ones that Okay. Again, like the queen is just not playing, so like I think we just keep this idea. So I think we just keep developing first, and then we keep this pressure here. Probably just h5. And here. I know. Can take still, so. Alright, let's just continue our development. Nothing going on just yet. Ideas. So rook's in the game. We also can fianchetto our bishop the long way. If it looks like white's putting a lot of pressure on our light squares. Right now, white's rook is in a little bit of an awkward spot. Here. Takes. Take. Rook. Just trying to see what is going to be strongest for us here. Again, we have a nice time advantage. What did we do last week in LoneWolf? Let's take a quick peek. Let's see if we won or lost. Had a rough start to LoneWolf here. Well, we won, lost, then won. Oh yeah, we had an interesting game. You can see Ice Cream Man, Butter Pecan. Would be nice to get 2 wins in a row. We're sitting at 500, right in the middle of the pack. The standings, I think it was like from number 52 or 54 all the way to 100 or like 108. We're all tied at 2 points. So getting a nice win here, kind of put in the top 33%. I think there's like 170, 180 players in this LoneWolf League. Mistakes by white, I think. That would be a mistake. Maybe. Maybe not necessarily a mistake, but Alright, so my first ideas are obviously like H6. I think H6, G6 seem to be the two top ideas. G6 is blunting White's attack, and like I said, we can maybe fianchetto this dark square bishop. Here, I think that just helps our quote-unquote development. And then we just look to trade off, maybe? Or even just go this way. H6 gets a little bit maybe more complicated. It's like H6, bishop takes, pawn takes, check. King up, I guess. Obviously, so H6. Dude, I feel like I always blunder these games. Like I feel like H6 is fine. G6 creates a lot of dark square weaknesses. But maybe we're able to tuck our king away on like E7 or something like that. Also, we're just looking to here. Alrighty. So I think if we need to get our queen active on the king side, well, I was gonna say we have that square, but we don't. Dark square bishop could go here, maybe helps support. I think rook c8 next move, setting up knight to b4. Obviously takes. Wait, is that even a thing? Oh, I guess that just wins the bishop. What's after here? We get a pretty strong rook there, though. And we pick up the pawn, more than likely. So that wins us a pawn. Rook c8. What else? I guess bishop f6 is always a possibility, opening up a square for our knight. Rook over. Okay, I think we can just go here, here. Takes. Again, we just have obviously the original idea is that, well, actually it's just defended, so if he pushes we could just take the pawn. We're just trying to get the light squared bishop. I think if we can remove that from our opponent, We should be fairly safe, and then we can start working on these pawns. Again, his rooks are still unconnected. It feels like he's like if his queen is left there. I feel good. I just feel nervous that a lot of his pieces are pointing at our king, but his bishop and his queen are reversed. This check's not too bad. I don't think this sacrifice amounts to anything either. Of course, unfortunately, this doesn't work. Just not with this knight there. Excuse me. Again, kind of like last week or the last few Lone Wolf games, I feel like these games turn into rapid games pretty quickly. Especially with the side that, like Paulze, already under the 20-minute cap. So I assume he's spending some time thinking about possible sacrifices on h6. I just don't see it working out right now. He's slowly kind of building. It feels like he needs a couple moves to get his other pieces into the game. At that point, I think we're going to be able to simplify the position. And not necessarily simplify, but just maneuver our pieces a little bit better. I mean, he could move his queen off this file. He wants to avoid these ideas. I don't even think, like, his rook can't even. Like, this doesn't stop the ideas, this doesn't stop the ideas, we can still go in for it. We might just save the pawn afterwards, but we might be able to pick up the A pawn in that line. In either case, he's got an isolated D pawn, so we might be able to put pressure on that if we go down that sort of continuation. But we will keep playing here and seeing what sort of pressure we can keep making them think. Be right back. Okay, just cleaning the keyboard. Something on it. Down to 14 minutes for my opponent. Pull up chat. Okay, he didn't say anything. Okay, I did not think this still worked. Knight here. I just take here, pawn takes, queen takes, rook takes. And we're pointing at this pawn. I feel like that's drawish, but favorable for us. Alright, so knight here. -3, +6, -3, even. Even with pressure on this pawn. So he has to push. And all of a sudden we get a great square for our bishop. Maybe our rooks can get involved, either here and here, like we have a lot of pressure. Like I said, this doesn't, yeah, this doesn't work. Because he's got knight takes. Obviously, rook takes, just bishop takes right away. And in that position, right, rook takes, so -3, +2, -1. Yeah, we end up +2 in that position. Okay. I'm gonna go for it anyways. I think I said after all the trades, everything's even, but trading knight for bishop. And we'll have a rook on the second rank on a light square. Don't hate that. We're gonna be able to support it pretty quickly. I mean, he is allowed to drop the queen back if he wants to keep queens on the board, but then he just this pawn or this pawn, but then I get that pawn, so he's still down a pawn if he wants to go for that. We'll have an outside passer with a lot of support from the bishops. Guessing we'll get a structure like this. And he's gonna be see how it plays out here. We'll pre-move queen takes though. That is the whole idea here. Pretty much trying to get the bishop pair, take the queens off the board, reduces his threat against our king side pretty heavily, and then trying to play against the middle / queen side of the board where a lot of our pieces are stationed. Whether that turns into a win or not, we'll kind of see. I think at the very least it's drawish in that sense, but he's gonna have an isolated pawn in the middle, and maybe we can gang up on it. At the very least, make him think about this decision. Maybe he takes with the rook by accident and we just go up material. Either way, we're getting a lot of time against our opponent. He's at 11:30 on the clock. So I was able to do this kind of my last game. I mean, my opponent resigned a little bit early in the last game. But we got him down like below 10 minutes. I've had that in a couple of my games now. Really just putting the pressure on time-wise to my opponents. Like I said, these next, if he ends up taking with the C takes B, these next few moves are pretty forced from both sides. So we'll get a little bit of time back. Paulze. Appreciate everyone stopping in for the games today. We will be having our league match, the 45-45 league match, I believe on... We can just look. I think it's Sunday. I want to say Sunday evening. Let's take a look here. Yeah, Sunday, March 23rd. 2300 UTC. So I'll post stuff like that in the Slack group for anybody that wants to come join, hang out. Possibly do some commentary of other games later this week, if I have the time. And we're getting another minute off our opponent's clock. 10 minutes. 10 minutes. So this isn't, we're not winning anything unless he takes with the rook. If he takes with the rook, I think we're up like +1, +2 material-wise. He just takes with the pawn. It should be even material. We're just trading queens and then a bishop for a knight, respectively. Then it's seeing if we can make anything happen with the bishop pair. Bishop pair, maybe we can get a couple of rooks to the second. That's where our rook on the c-file will end up on the second rank. If all that kind of goes according to plan, I could easily see like all the rooks coming off the board. If he brings his rooks to the c-file, I don't know. We could easily get two bishops versus a bishop-knight type of ending. Which at that point, I think the time advantage will be super helpful. Because you can just kind of grind away at it. Gained another like 2 to 3 minutes here. He's already at 8:30. Let's check the chat room to make sure he hasn't disconnected or anything like that. For any emergency, so it doesn't look like he said anything since the game start. Appreciate him working. Okay, we'll just take back again. Alright. Let's see what he wants to do with this a4 pawn if he just pushes it. Alright, so, I mean, he kind of... What am I missing here? I think that's just a straight blunder, right? Is he trying to like trap my rook somehow? I'm not sure what that move was, I'll be honest. Now we're up a pawn. And our bishop is going to be uncontested on like d5, b5. Can't attack our rook. Wow, he played that like instantaneously too. I don't know if he just missed that the a4 pawn was hanging at the end of that line. Or what happened. I mean, we can easily try to just consolidate like... Yeah, I don't know. That was a pretty big blunder, I think, by my opponent now. It's got isolated D and B pawns. Should be our game to win. There's no immediate attack, like any knight sack. We can just take with the king. Guard E6. Yeah, I'm not sure what exactly, if that was a misclick. Yeah. Wow. Is that a misclick? Oh, he... I think it was fine. Opening. Oh, my opponent resigned. Okay. 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 Yeah, that blunder was kind of big. This idea was good. So yeah, I just wanted white to kind of bring his queen off that file. Thank you. Well, good game to my opponent. I mean, it was practically even. Let me switch the scenes here for you guys, for anybody in chat. Wanted my knight on e5. Yeah. 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 The rook move doesn't do much. Moving off the file. Yeah, so it just wants like, let's say queen e2. Like, what am I doing with my knight here? I don't know, it's just a random move. c4. Yeah. ideas. Oh. Yeah, my opponent had some ideas here. He was looking at c4 a few times. I mean, this light square bishop's a little bit awkward. I don't even know if c4 is necessary at any point. I just think this bishop on bishop c4 just kind of feels awkward. Yep. I was thinking it would be even after queens come off. Bishops. But c4, bishop on b2. Yeah. Yeah. Surprise. I guess. I don't think there's any sort of sacrifices here. No. Yeah. Versed. Alrighty, well, short stream today, guys. We had a nice win. Our opening prep kind of worked. We got to a pretty even position. I will flip over to a scene real quick so you can kind of see. That was the tail of the tape when my opponent played. After we traded, I had a 1 pawn advantage. I think it's probably slightly with the bishops. And then after knight to e5, my opponent drops only up 1 pawn of material, but the engine says it's almost worth over a full piece. That 1 pawn. My opponent was going to have some weak squares or weak pawns that we were going to have to go after, but our bishop's doing a great job of corralling this knight. Somehow, I think we just go after these pawns, and then all of a sudden we have some runaway pawns here on the queen side. Yeah. You saw all the threats. All the threats. Man. It's on. Okay. Also want to play bishop f4. Was considering g3. Which move? What are we talking about? Six. Okay. His dark square bishop. Nice. Heading out. Yeah, man. Chabla, we ended up winning, man. It was a 19 move. A 19 move game. What did I just do there? And my opponent played really well. We'll do a quick. It's like an accelerated pan off. And we're completely even. He has a slight advantage, even. And he just kind of, we went for his queen trade, and then he just kind of blundered the pawn on a4, and the computer gives it a, there's a tactic there or not. I do the mixed tactics. Kara has been great for me. Personally. Appreciate it, man. Gotham Chess, yo. One sec. What is this guy's name? I am. Bro, where is this guy? Girl. I'll forward it. Yeah. 2 courses. Appreciate it, Chad. Thanks for stopping in, man. I was just finishing up the stream, but I do appreciate you stopping in for. Dude, the 8 years. Oh, nice. What's that? A little bit over.